Oke, ketemu lagi di Skill Tree Podcast Agi. Kali ini agak spesial karena kita kedatangan orang yang juga spesial, yang mungkin juga beberapa teman-teman juga udah pada wondering kan, kayak selama ini Agi itu kan berhubungan dengan banyak pihak gitu, salah satunya government. Tapi kenapa government tidak pernah menjadi salah satu bintang tamu di sini?
Gak pernah diundang soalnya.
Wow. Kita undang dengan beberapa kali reschedule ini. Akhirnya Airin Umar, halo.
Thank you, Mas Syafiq.
Mbak Airin, apa kabar?
I'm good. Today is a good day. Apalagi hari ini menerima undangan ini terutama ya. Jadi very happy.
Wow. Senang banget loh. Terima kasih sudah menyempatkan waktu untuk datang ke sini.
Sama-sama. Gitu. Terima kasih juga sudah mengundang kita dan udah mengingat gitu.
Wow.
Very appreciate.
Oke, kita cut basa-basi ini. Langsung saja. Kenapa akhirnya bicaranya casual kayak gini? Satu, kita udah kenal dari sebelum ini ya, dari sebelum pemerintahan dan segala macam. Sudah pernah bersinggungan sebenarnya waktu itu, cuma memang nggak banyak ngobrol ya pada masa itu. Kemudian akhirnya ngobrol intens lagi waktu kepilih jadi wamen, dan waktu itu langsung udah dibilang kayak jangan basa-basi sama gue gitu, kayak let's be friends, oke, gitu kan. Dan dari situ akhirnya we develop conversations as a friend juga, karena Agi dan government juga bekerjanya beriringan gitu, saling melengkapi juga gitu. Jadi jangan kaget ya kalau memang akan terjadi banyak bercandaan di sini gitu, karena Mbak Airin juga orang yang memang sangat easy going person gitu loh.
Wamen juga manusia kok, intinya kan itu ya.
Dan tidak mau dipanggil ibu.
Udah pasti muda gitu, masa dipanggil ibu.
Tidak mau, kalau mau ngomong mohon izin dulu gitu.
Betul kan? Sekali, karena mohon izin memakan 2 detik.
Tapi jadi wondering sih sebenarnya, because I know you beberapa waktu belakangan lah, jauh sebelum era ada wamen Ekraf, karena ini juga kementerian baru ya.
Betul,
gitu. I know you from DNC back then gitu, karena I was working in Touch 10 waktu itu.
Oh my god, yes. I remember those days.
Yeah, and then pernah ngobrol juga waktu awal-awal aku bikin Gambir, and then kita ngobrol DNC dan Gambir pada saat itu. Kenapa tiba-tiba jadi politik sih? Sebelum we go to pertanyaan-pertanyaan lain ya, kayak pasti pertanyaan orang itu kayak kenapa akhirnya, karena I've never heard you di political, nggak pernah lihat ada di partai dan semua segala macam. Iya. Terus tiba-tiba kayak pas diumumin kayak loh.
Sama dong mas. Tapi on seriousness sih sebenarnya being a politician is never something that's in my roadmap kan. Personal plan tidak pernah lah mau yang namanya memasukin politik, apalagi ya jadi wamen gitu loh. Never in my wildest dream. Cuman pas waktu diberi kesempatan ini, you know our fight lah ya, you know our struggle di dunia industri game, industri kreatif selama more than 10 years kan. So I thought why not gitu loh. Kalau misalnya, and I believe the universe itu nggak mungkin ngasih sesuatu kalau nggak ada reasonnya, nggak ada tujuannya juga. Bener. Jadi pas waktu ditawarin atau disuruh beda-beda tipis ya. Jadi pas waktu the offer came in, I just asked the universe, is this from you? And if it's a yes, then I'll take it. So ya udah.
And the answer is yes pada saat itu yang didapetin.
In 5 seconds.
Wow, cepat ya respon universe-nya ya.
Cepet. Jadi I think yang ngikutin aja sih. Tapi sampai sekarang I think this cabinet is very special. Atau maybe sebelumnya itu nggak pernah terlalu memperhatikan politik juga kan. Tapi this cabinet for me is very special karena mandate langsung dari Pak Prabowo adalah mengsimplify yang ribet. Dan we have to fight for the people. Right, dan ini and there are a lot of new things, a lot of new tech. So make sure that Indonesia is not behind and let's set the foundation. Makanya banyak yang kita lakukan selama 250-an hari ini adalah foundation. Dan saya rasa juga dengan Agi kan kita ngobrolin foundation terus ya. Dan setting a foundation is not easy gitu loh. And that's why for us set foundations takes time. Tapi yang lowest hanging fruits yang kita bisa petik langsung kita petik. But for me, this position on your question is a mandate aja lah.
It's a mandate ya.
It's a mandate from the universe, like just do it.
Tapi kalau dari keluarga gitu memang ada yang backgroundnya politik atau
apa?
At all?
Zero.
Wow.
Zero. Jadi
kaget dong waktu dapet this over.
Yeah, I asked why. Even my dress code don't fit. Why? That was the exact question I
Itu
asked.
pada saat itu berarti lagi di Indonesia dong.
That I travel a lot.
Iya,
I was
iya.
a digital
Iya,
nomad, right?
iya.
That 1 week I was in Indonesia.
Wow.
Jadi that 1 week
Coincidence
I
sekali
got
ya.
call on Thursday or Wednesday, Sunday kan inauguration ya,
Iya.
announcement.
Iya.
And then habis itu minggu depannya kita ke Magelang. So I had to cancel my trip the week after. Jadi if that call came a week after or a week before, I wasn't in
Yeah.
Indonesia.
Dan jadi akan susah lagi kan, because you travel for work kan pada saat
Yeah,
itu.
I travel for work.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
it was divine intervention. So when we did a reflection, my family and I, my boyfriend and I, when we did they were like, ya udahlah nerima nasib aja, but just do your best because this is a mandate kan.
Yeah.
Dan kita selalu let's face it, like, as an Indonesians, obviously it's very easy to say that we should have done this, we should have done that faster, and everything just blame it to the government, right? It's the pink elephant in the room, right? I was a citizen, I know that, and I did that before as well. Let's just be honest, kan? But coming to the government, I understand why, and I understand the issue better. Do I have solutions for everything? I don't. But do I have a solution for some? Probably. Testing it out now as we speak and bragging.
Yeah.
So, but the mandate again, I just hold on to that mandate lah. Kita mau Indonesia Emas, kita harus set foundationnya proper gitu loh. Dan setiap waktu itu berharga banget, because this 5 years is very important, instrumental for the country.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So because kan you're coming from a digital background, especially in game.
I was
right?
a digital nomad.
Yeah.
I was traveling in a suitcase. Everything was in a suitcase.
True. And of course di bidang game development juga kan gitu. Jadi waktu sebenarnya Irene Umar kepilih untuk jadi wakil menteri gitu, wah semua industri game kayak langsung put everything on your shoulder.
Oh yes, I felt that.
Iya kan? Iya kan pada saat itu. Dan I think I do still remember, I think 3 days after you come back from Magelang pada saat itu.
Agi langsung dipanggil.
Iya. Kayak okay, talk to me then
Yes.
gitu kan. Jadi
waktu itu Mas Syafiq juga baru menjabat jadi presiden ya toh.
Ya baru beberapa bulan waktu itu. Dari kita langsung mapping, and then after I think a month after kita ketemu, we go with the Terminal 3 ya.
Yes.
Waktu itu
24th of December.
Itu kayak salah satu program less than 100 days.
Oh yes, it was done in 7 days after MOU signing.
True. Iya, itu minggu tergila sih. And then we go to Art Hotel juga waktu
Yes.
itu, dan and banyak lah pada saat itu ya program-programnya. Sekarang dengan semua baggage itu sebenarnya banyak
Nggak
orang
baggage lah, mandate lah.
mandate. No, gue yang memberikan baggage itu.
Kita selalu memberikan baggage kok.
Betul. Especially malam-malam ya, 1:30 lu udah bangun, lu masih bangun nggak? And then talk. Apa sih sebenarnya kayak plannya Kementerian Aircraft, especially untuk industri game? Pasti teman-teman ini juga pada mau tahu sih.
Kita pasti akan ngelihat mappingnya end to end dulu ya. Dan mapping itu kan terus secara berjalan, kita langsung jalanin terus. I remember a few of our conversations, talents is something that we have to look at. Talents, hardware availability, meaning game console dan ID ada kan. Ketiga adalah untuk game developer ini bisa mendunia, kita udah banyak yang mendunia on their own. But what can the government play a role in it, and how can we form an Avengers team so that this loop is complete. Game publisher we have, tapi game publishernya kita belum se-strong game publisher dari negara luar kan. Dan di Southeast Asia kalau kita ngelihat game publisher juga belum ada satupun juga yang benar-benar strong yang dari Southeast Asia, bener kan? Yang belum diakuisisi. So dari pemetaan ini, I feel Indonesia have a chance, but we need to gather some people lah dari berbagai negara untuk boost this ecosystem. But the lowest hanging fruit right now would be the talent, I feel. Nah sekarang kan talents, we discuss about this also. Setelah mereka di game development, pas keluar jangan sampai mereka balik ke perusahaan keluarga instead of doing their own games kan. How do we make sure internship is there, job opportunities is there? So those are one of the things that we're looking at. On the talent development side as well, all the game developers know Unity.
Yeah.
Majority of you guys learned from YouTube, right? Waktu itu masih belum ada jurusannya.
Belum ada.
Nah, sekarang recently Unreal Engine Festival is a milestone for us karena itu pindah dari Gold Coast ke Bali for the first time, and it was a full house, and it was I love it because it was a nerd gathering, right? I didn't want to leave. I was looking at it like, holy, this is so cool.
Because
right?
this is not a business event kan,
It
it's not a
wasn't.
conference. Jadi kayak mereka pun juga bilang bahwa memang ini diperuntukkan untuk orang tech gitu.
Benar. Orang tech yang Unreal itu bukan hanya untuk game development tapi juga untuk animation. Architecture, and anything to do with designs, right? And they've developed an amazing tools. Now, Indonesia do not have a lot of talents there. Right, so I think bringing in Unity, Unreal Engine, and the console guys to come in and join that ecosystem and say that the government will be there to support, and we are there to support every step of the way to make sure that the talent grow. Second thing we have to solve is the penyerapan pekerjaan. The third thing that we have to solve is distributions and marketing. Jadi it's more of a consolidated effort. So sekarang ini lowest hanging fruitnya kita ya, newsletter lah, apalah. So I'm constantly sending out messages to not only within the government in Indonesia domestically, tapi juga lewat KJRI yang ada dengan medias with the private sectors. Hello, creative industry is this, game exists. Gambir Studio have a really good games, for example.
Thank you.
Right? Selera Nusantara. Yeah. That game is always here because it's a mobile game. It's easy for me to show to people, and people are interested in it. Tapi let's face it, private sector do not know what to do with a game, how to use game as a medium for them to do advertisement. It's something completely new, right? And as game developers, one of the things that we talk about also, we need to work on the pitching sessions, right? So, because we are fun people. Game developers are fun people. Game community are fun people.
Supposed to be fun people.
Supposed to be fun. Fun lah. Tapi we don't really think so much about monetizations. We think mostly about creating a very good high quality games. I think we need to switch that a little bit.
Karena biar bagaimanapun ini kan bisnis ya. Gitu, kayak we have to make money from it gitu loh.
And we're all also getting older kan, with responsibility is catching up.
True. Dan I also agree with you gitu loh, bahwa memang sebenarnya kayak talent ini kan jadi salah satu the problem that we have to face sebenarnya. Dan ini juga notes buat teman-teman juga bahwa sebenarnya setelah lulus kuliah pun membuat studio sendiri itu bukan the only solution. You can tap into this industry gitu loh. Karena ya maybe you are of course you know lah ya, kayak sebenarnya kan startup game di luar itu adalah veteran from the industry yang kemudian udah merasa selesai bekerja di perusahaan studio manapun, kemudian dia membuat studio sendiri kayak
itu aja
Kojima,
bisa fail loh.
Itu pun bisa fail. Gimana yang baru lulus belum punya modal yang cukup kuat, kemudian mencoba untuk membuka itu sendiri, membuka studio game sendiri, kemudian gagal, akhirnya malah angkanya bagus nih tahun ini, banyak studio game-nya, tiba-tiba tahun depannya udah drop gitu. Tapi menurut Irene sendiri gitu, kayak kan banyak banget nih orang-orang yang mengencourage buka startup sendiri, it's a new stuff, it's a new cool thing stuff gitu loh. Kalau dulu kan orang di-encourage untuk kerja di bank, kerja di perusahaan pakai dasi, sekarang di-encourage untuk jadi startup. Itu sebenarnya salah satu bentuk glorifikasi atau romantisasi kegagalan penciptaan lapangan kerja atau enggak sih jadinya?
I believe in entrepreneurship, bukan hanya di game development. Kalau misalnya mau jadi true entrepreneur, it's not about creating a PT. Anyone can spend 15 million create a PT, terus jadi itu. And then you print yourself a CEO, that's it. Kan? A true entrepreneurs, you don't have to create a PT. You can work for a company and achieve the same success just by being an intrapreneur. Entrepreneurship is about ownership of something.
True.
Kan? Ownership not in terms of shares, but ownership and having pride in the things that you do. Now that's what I believe in. If we look at the world of how it's going to be in the future, anything that's repeating, anything that's repetitive will one day be replaced by robots and technology. Jadi there is a huge need for us to start training entrepreneurship. Tapi to your question of whether or not this is a glorifications of because jobs are not available, yes and no. Because we need to start by doing a startup so that people can fail, so that people can learn about entrepreneurship, people can learn about responsibility and get into the real life. But for me, I feel people also need to go and understand what it takes. If you have the grit, right, no matter what business you build, you can pivot. But that grit to want to continue on, that's something that I don't think a lot of us have. and that's what it meant to be a true entrepreneur sih.
Nggak semua punya mental entrepreneur ya.
Tapi kita harus punya, karena kalau enggak dunia yang ke depan itu beda.
Tapi kalau semua orang punya mental entrepreneur, nggak ada yang mau kerja dong nanti.
Kalau kita ngelihat 20 years down the line, pekerjaan-pekerjaan yang membosankan, admin base ya, yang repeating
akan
itu
diganti oleh AI.
akan diganti oleh whatever technology that will come up lah ya, itu akan tergantikan. So we have more time to do things that we are passionate about.
We have to ya.
Yes. Jadi for those of you who are, ya maybe banyak yang bakal bilang, Rin lu mah bisa karena you have a family to fall back to. Sorry, I'm the breadwinner of the family, right? Jadi it's not that. It's all about how hungry are you to go and find that gitu loh. If you're hungry enough, trust me deh, if you just go and look for the financial gains, we all need financials in order to support ourselves and all. Let's not be munafik kesana kan. Tapi if you only use that as your main goal, then you'll end up being in the rat race gitu kan. Yang open question to all of you. Semuanya mau jadi kaya kan? Jawabannya mostly will say yes. Next question. Kayanya kamu itu berapa duit? Pernah di-define nggak? Kalau nggak pernah di-define, you don't know your destinations. Right. It's the same as your life gitu. What do you want to do? Being a startup founder? As I told you, go to Notaris, set up a company, you are a startup founder. But what is your purpose that you want to do with that company? Karena company itu cuma mobil doang untuk bawa kamu ke satu destinasi. Destinasi itu by right should be your life purpose. Right. And every car that you ride, ask yourself, does it help you to get you closer to your life purpose?
Betul.
I've been very lucky because I think everything is being planned by, ya selain gue pasrah mungkin ya. Jadi every doors that open I just say yes, as weird as it is kan. I'm able to speak. A lot of people comment that I can do public speaking. I'm an introvert, you know that. But I was given a chance to become a radio announcer, right? A radio DJ,
I know,
right? It works for me because I don't have to see people. It's just a mic, right, and the screens. And then being a radio announcer, you have to become an MC. You know, my first MC season, I have to take off my glasses, and I feel so blessed that mata gue minus. Jadi I don't see people.
So some of my friends yang performer gitu juga sih.
Tuh kan. Jadi nggak perlu ngeliat orang, semuanya bayang-bayang, right? But with time, itu jadinya slowly growing, and then I pick up the courage to wear my glasses. Why? Because I want to connect with the audience. I don't want to be on, doing things by myself, karena gue juga bosen kan jadinya kan. So that's when I started to develop the public speaking. But do you know how I got the job and a radio announcer? Because I win something. Jadi pas ada quiz gitu in that radio station, gitu ya. Gue coba karena waktu itu my family was going through really really bad time. We haven't had jangan weekend lah, holiday weekend aja susah gitu kan, karena we will be working non-stop. So I wanted to give something to my parents. I didn't have the money. Itu gift-nya adalah staycation in hotel for 1 night or 2 nights, I forgot. So I wanted that. Jadi cuma itu doang sebenarnya aimnya ya. Cuma itu. malah jadi yang dapat
lain
kerjaan
gitu,
kan.
Dapat kerjaan.
Ya, tapi karena itu that's why I get public speaking. Jadi kadang-kadang anything that happens in your life, if it's bad, just ask yourself, ini gue lagi disuruh belajar apa sih gitu. Karena trust me, once once it's over, you learn your lesson, then the new chapter and opportunity will suddenly just come aja. Kayak COVID yang pergi tiba-tiba, datang tiba-tiba gitu kan. So in your life it's also like that. Tapi pada saat dikasih blessing, then you take it, tapi stay humble. Nah, kalau journey as game development itu gue tau lah ya, banyak yang dicoret dari kakak lah, ditendang dari keluar rumah. It's tough gitu loh.
It's tough, even for me it's tough as well gitu loh. Kayak this is new.
It's very new.
It's new, especially for my parents. Well, our generations lah ya, kayak mereka ngerasanya pasti kayak mau ngapain,
mau
ini
apa?
Iya, they don't understand because mereka taunya cuma download game itu gratis. They don't know kayak buat monetization seperti apa, in-app purchases seperti apa. Jadi you're not alone guys. Kayak saat mengalami hal itu, but now I think it's more way better karena
it's way better because it has Agi.
Terima kasih.
No, seriously, Agi really make a difference. Because otherwise you won't have bunch of people who get together in an associations. I love this industry because in Agi you have people, yes they gossip, right? But you have people who really, it's not competitions, tapi beneran duduk bareng. Lu ngerjain itu gimana sih caranya? Ngajarin gitu loh.
Nurturing lah ya kita semuanya ya, masih ini. Kan. Karena industri ini juga memang masih terlalu besar untuk diperebutkan. Jadi persaingannya tuh bukan persaingan yang benar-benar sikut-sikutan, mungkin kayak brand F&B or FMCG
honestly gue
gitu.
nanya lu deh, even kalau nyampe ke sana, orang-orang yang sekarang ada di Agi nih, tipikal karakternya sikut-sikutan gak sih? Gosip-gosipan iya, sikut-sikutan dalam bisnis untuk masalah duit, iya gak?
I'm not so sure sih, iya. Karena ya maksudnya pembedanya pun juga banyak kan. Kita bikin game tapi bisa jadi platformnya beda, genrenya beda, target marketnya beda gitu. Jadi memang masih luas gitu loh. Kuenya juga masih terlalu luas gitu.
Kalau gue ngelihat ke karakternya sih, karena ke karakter
Orang-orangnya
people,
ya.
orang-orangnya itu genuinely very critical, right? Very much in the bubbles of, you know, like nobody understand us but we are together gitu. It's okay, we're gonna conquer the world, right? Yang di luar ngeliat lagi ngapain di dalam. But the people, the character are actually really genuine and nice people. The heart is good lah. That's what I feel.
Mungkin ya karena kita mengerjakan sesuatu yang fun and people are actually enjoying produk yang kita buat juga, jadinya impactnya positif gitu kan. But I also wondering ya, it will leads to another question. Saat nggak ada, no. Ya, itu leads to another questions adalah, dulu kan memang Mbak Irin kan udah lama di industri ini, juga melakukan investment ke game industry. Of course, you see this as a different gitu. Pas udah sekarang ada di pemerintah, di Aircraft, how do you see the game industry right now? Is there anything change? Atau ada sesuatu hal yang mungkin baru finally that you realize itu ternyata ada dan segala macamnya?
Kalau game industry overall, I feel bukannya sok tahu ya, tapi kan udah lama juga kan. Dan kiblatnya aku, I would always, karena dari awal masuk ke dunia games itu mulai dari China Joy gitu loh, ngelihat how big the Chinese market is and how crazy they are, right? And then go to GDC and see the comparison between the two. So I feel in terms of ecosystem wise, we more or less knows what needs to be there. Now, and this does not only apply to the game industry. There are three things that we need to work on. Number one, entrepreneurship. I explained it already. Number two is mindset shift, that can but die, but it's okay. We'll still survive a game kan, and revive gitu toh. Kan as gamers, what do we do? Kalau game over kita flick replay kan. So mindset itu sangat penting sekali. Mindset shift yang positif. You have two options lah. Sesuatu bad happens, right? You want to go and dwell on the drama and be negative, or you want to look at it, what can I do about this kan? Jadi mindset itu sangat penting sekali. Ketiga adalah financial literacy. I'll ask the game developers, do you know COGS untuk each of your games?
Gak tahu mereka pasti. Karena ya fun fact-nya aja nggak semua game developer itu punya orang finance or HR.
I understand.
Gitu. Jadi ya memang itu belum menjadi salah satu faktor yang menurut mereka penting. Yang penting ada programmer, ada artis. That's it. But sometimes yang pernah kita sering diskusikan juga gitu loh. This is a business gitu loh. It has to make money dan segala macam.
But it's okay. Pelan-pelan bisa kok.
Mulai
dari personal financial saja dulu kan. Karena kalau I believe the company is a reflection of the founder kan. So we start with personal financial planning 101 dulu aja. That's why I say it's not only applicable to game developers, but it also applies to all creative industry. Yang mana mostly are entrepreneurs kan. Freelancers are entrepreneurs. Now, if you can't do your financial planning 101 properly, then you will always be living in scarcity, right? Like always worry, anxious, how I'm gonna survive, right? So if you know how to do the financial thingy, then translate it to your company, then you can pursue the passion. Jadi 3 hal itu sih buat aku ya, across the aircraft that I want to push.
Terus kalau ngelihat industri game yang sekarang, apa sih yang sebenarnya harus di-pursue dan apa support dari aircraft yang memang bisa untuk ke arah situ?
Step into the light, guys. Jangan hide behind Discord, right? We need to tell Indonesians and we need to tell our peers outside the game industry that there is this game industry, right? And second, teach people how they can be involved. Karena when you speak to someone who's completely out of the game industry, meaning other than being a gamer and playing casual games kan, itu they don't understand how they can get involved. But does it mean that they don't want to? Enggak, mereka pengen gitu loh. Tak kenal maka tak sayang, cuman mereka nggak kenal, pengen masuk ke game industry. The only way that they know is to invest. And then we from the game developer, lu cuman bawa duit doang, nggak dapat bawa any value added, nggak mau gitu kan. Dari sana ngeliat sombong banget sih lu, dan mau dikasih invest nggak mau. Padahal tujuannya mereka mungkin ya on the positive side just want to get to know each other. Contoh deh Selera Nusantara for me, when I look at it, I'm like, Mas Syafiq, ini bisa loh kerjasama dengan brand kopi, bisa kerjasama dengan brand ini, brand itu, banyak banget loh. Karena lebih banyak orang stare at the phones. It's a new advertising medium. See, Japan is normal, Indonesia, a lot of people do not know it, right? Jadi I'm pushing and introducing that to sectors who do not yet know and understand about creative industry. I know you guys feel misunderstood. I'm the same. Everybody thought I just watch movies all the time. I watch concert, play games all the time.
No, she's not. Like definitely not.
Tapi kan banyak kan dari luar kan kelihatan kan. Itu kedua. Jadi distributions ya, awareness-nya itu perlu dibentuk. Ketiga adalah distributions ya kan. Jangan cuma hanya di Indonesia, di luar aja yang normal gitu loh. Di Indonesia, a few of the games actually have really good Indonesian markets. The question is monetization-nya gimana? Karena kalau misalnya kita main mobile games ya, itu kan certain point itu you have to entice your player based on data scientific, data reading, jangan forget science lah. Data readingnya itu cara baca trennya seperti apa. Kedua adalah understanding monetization points-nya itu ada di mana, right? I think those are important. So what do we aircraft do then? Deketin semua platform. Guys, ajarin timnya, ajarin anak-anak gue dong gimana caranya so that they can monetize. My offer simple. If my kids monetize, right, then it'll be you guys will be happier also kan, because it's profit sharing gitu loh. So those are the initiatives we are doing with a couple of platforms on top of wanting to bring up our talent pool ya. Kita udah ngeliat kan. I have challenged you, right? If we have 5 months left, right, for 6 more cities to go. For the airport game corner. I think the second one might be in. Okay, I'm not going to announce it, but the second, so we open a second one in Terminal 2 kan, Terminal 3, Terminal 2, and then another city might be opening up soon, and we have another hotel that will be interested also. So opening these distribution lines will be helpful to put Indonesia in the game.
Jadi sebenarnya lebih banyak pendekatan dengan private sector yang memang punya platformnya juga gitu ya untuk mempromosikan, which is sebenarnya itu kan salah satu hal yang pintunya tidak bisa diketok baik dari itu secara personal. Mungkin bisa tapi
belum kenal.
Stepnya jauh dan susah kalau satu game atau 2 game doang yang dibawa gitu. Even though asosiasi pun juga susah. Inilah sebenarnya hal-hal yang sebenarnya government itu punya powernya di situ gitu. Power itu kan bukan berarti harus bagi duit terus gitu.
Benar.
Gitu kayak pokoknya kalau mau pemerintah minta duit. Intinya gitu kan.
Betul.
Those kind of mindset sebenarnya yang memang harus di switch nih gitu.
Benar.
Pasti akan ada bantuan-bantuan seperti itu, pasti akan ada. Cuma memang ternyata kita harus setelah kita menilik lagi kan banyak hal-hal yang sebenarnya bisa disupport itu tanpa moneter lah ya.
Gitu. Sebenarnya kayak game corner di bandara itu bukannya gimana ya, but I think a lot of people have tried to change it, right? But it can't, because my job is to translate bahasa Indonesia ke bahasa Indonesia, right? So when I go to the airport, I research first. Airport itu for them to win the airport awards. Yang penting apa sih? Facilities ya. One of the facilities game corner experience. That's why in Middle East countries you have game corners also. Although
Changi
itu berbayar.
Well,
Changi also have, right? Indonesia does. They want to create one, but kalau misalnya nggak pernah ada sentuhan dari teman-teman asosiasi game atau dari industri, how can they create something good? It's like asking someone who never cook in their life to cook something. They can't even cook Indomie gitu loh, right? So when I go to the airport, I offer solutions kan, solutions that actually is something that game developers also want. So it's a win-win solutions, but in a language that airports understand, and airports were super happy with it, super supportive of it, right? And so from there I learned that bukannya semua orang pada intinya itu mau membantu kok, dan mau meng-support the industry kok, cuman harus nyari win-win solutionsnya aja. So and we talk about pendanaan. Sebenarnya dari pendanaan dari kita ya, itu there are a couple of big events that we are attending, right?
Gamesit juga kan.
With Gamesit as well.
Ya.
So there are a whole bunch of events that people are attending. But untuk events, I wanted to, which I mentioned also, sebelum berangkat, ayo belajar pitching session dulu. Jangan ke sana jadi SPG, tapi ke sana itu adalah nyari gitu loh. Do a road show kan. Udah nyampe sana itu pitch, ngobrol, have meetings. And this also applies to non-game developers pada saat berangkat. Jadi pas balik itu you are blocking your order book lah ya for the rest of the year. Itu satu. And then untuk dana pinjaman loans segala macam itu ada loh dari Kementerian Koperasi, dari Kementerian Keuangan, dari banyak sources lah yang kita udah compile, which we also have shared to all associations.
Itu bisa ya berarti kalau kita punyanya IP atau digital product atau tidak punya aset sama sekali gitu.
Okay.
Kemarin kan isunya itu kan.
When it comes to IP financing, we have to know that because everyone will say that, oh, I have an IP. For example, I draw a mic. Oh, this is an IP. Can I get funding out of it? Right? Aku nggak mau kita blunder, right? IP itu sekarang banyak yang misunderstand. Oh, I draw a line is an IP. It's
self-claim jadinya
self-claim. You have to prove that this IP is valuable. How do you prove it? In the words of bankers, they need to see whether or not your IP have started generating money or tractions before, so that we can see the potentials, right? I was an ex-banker. For example, contoh konkretnya apa? YouTube account. YouTube accounts is an IP dong, right? You have your brand. Historically kan ada ya. Ini ada berapa pemasukan yang masuk loh. Based on pemasukan yang masuk, they can project in the future itu whether or not you'll be able to pay back the loans kan. As long as you have that, then you can actually qualify. Gitu. Itu satu. Kedua, what about games that have not been released yet? Right? If your game has not been released, you should have a following of some sort, right? Whether or not you have the communities that follows you, whether you have the wish list, which kalau kata Adam wish list sudah nggak berlaku, kan? On values to determine whether or not your game will be successful or your title will be successful. If you are able to prove that, to show that historical track records, then the IP will be valuable and will be worth providing loans for, right? Because you have to understand, kalau game developer barang dagangannya itu adalah games, bankers barang dagangannya itu adalah duit. Kalau nggak ada yang minjem duit, mereka juga pusing.
Yeah.
Because itu barangnya mereka gitu. So it's in their interest to disperse the loan, but it's also in their responsibility to make sure that you can pay back the loan. And so it's in your responsibility when you want to take the loan to make sure that you can pay. Karena sekarang banyak banget yang mau minta funding, and I'll ask gitu kan, mau minta fundingnya berapa, untuk berapa lama, gunanya untuk apa, pengembaliannya gimana?
Yeah. Gitu. Jatuhnya jadi kayak investor ya.
Correct.
You back to your roots ya.
Of course.
Cuma kayak memang kan masih menjadi isu bahwa IP itu tidak bisa diagunkan atau tidak bisa dijaminkan karena
kan valuation
bentuknya iya gitu. Jadi teman-teman developer ini yang nggak punya fixed asset atau apa namanya ya properti untuk dijadikan jaminan gitu, how mereka bisa mendapatkan pendanaan itu dong berarti?
I'm an investor, right?
Yeah.
So I invested in not a lot in Indonesian companies kan. But I've did a lot of due diligence on more than 500 companies or teams in Indonesia. A lot of those companies, this is back in the days. Now I'm sure that lebih canggih. Back in the days, there are pitchings who said, I want $1 million, $2 million, $5 million, right? Then when I asked, what do you want to use it for? Ada loh yang bilang ke gue, Vic, oh gue mau beli kantor.
Hah?
Ada loh yang bilang
property dong investment. Wow.
Ada yang bilang ke gue dong, oh ya gue mau pakai itu nge-hire orang. So I said, you know that the biggest headache that you'll have is hiring people, and hiringnya tuh ke 100 orang gitu loh.
Wow, growth itu bukan cuma masalah orang ya.
Yes.
You have to be remembered.
It's about efficiency.
Betul.
Nah jadi imagine if you are the investor or you are the bankers. Do you think that if you are that, you would be reckless or responsible if you disperse the loan?
Ya, enggak lah.
Yang kita cari itu, kenapa sih banks itu ada even yang kredit tanpa agunan? Kenapa? Karena the jobs of bankers is to disperse loans kan? Tapi they need to justify also. Jadi kalau misalnya you have an IP, you don't have property, you just have to justify that your IP can make money. The IP will be able to return the investments. You can't go to a banker and say, have faith in me. You can't. As investors, I do that. I exercise that. So I look at the founders. Ini kira-kira bisa diajak ngobrol nggak gitu, dan bisa diajak untuk maju bareng nggak, right? And investors are not always right, Jadi would you be able to come and say that, tell me off gitu? I would appreciate that more. Karena companies your IPs itu bisa pivot, tapi the founder is the same. So kalau ditanya di banyak podcast sebelumnya, what's your indicator for investments? Even 10 years ago, I always say founder is number one. Founder is number one. So if you have the grit, then you
company
want to
can change
okay.
people. Sometimes not, sometimes yes, but yeah.
Yang penting bisa diajak untuk sit down, yuk let's talk gitu kan. Karena banks are excited. You think they're not excited? They're scratching their head. How do I do the scorecard? And I scratch their head together with them. I say, okay, financial planning 101. I need to get people to look into it, right? Grants, are we looking at it? Not a pink elephant in the room. Are we looking at grants? We are looking at grants very closely. The question that I have as the government is to myself, how do I control this? How do I make sure that the right people will get the grants? Not because you are not getting the grant because you know me. You're not getting the grant because you know people. But there is a scorecard that I can put in place, right? That can last. Mau pemilu mau enggak gitu, this can last because it's so freaking good gitu loh. The grant system have to be there. Jadi grants itu yang pada saat diberikan bisa dipertanggungjawabkan. Because as a woman, as someone that pejabat negara, I'm investing or spending on behalf of the Indonesians loh. I want to sleep in peace. So every cent I want to make sure that is actually for the betterment of Indonesians kan.
Grants itu dana hibah ya teman-teman.
Oh ya maaf.
Nanti kalau bisa timnya dikasih translator.
Oh gitu. Ya ngomong dong. Habis Syafiq sih ngajakinnya ngomong bahasa Inggris sombong.
Wow, the gaslighting. Tapi oke, dengan semua plan yang Mbak Erin punya gitu, kayak gimana peran Agi ada di dalam situ?
Where do I start?
Wow, agak takut ya ini.
Jadi Agi itu has been a really good partner. Sebenarnya dari government sendiri kan, kita ada Hexahelix kan, komunitas, asosiasi, private sector dan kawan-kawan lah ya. Jadi Agi perpanjangan tangan untuk menuju kepada semua teman-teman, bukan hanya game developers, semua orang yang ada di dunia games. Ekosistem games ya. That's why any announcement I'll go and bug Syafiq, or if I want to know something I'll ask Agi. Fik, ini gimana ya? Like there's this opportunity nih, kayak misalnya yang di airport, I call him up, I think a few days before we set it up, bikinin dong desainnya gitu kan. Kapan jadi kemarin harusnya. Those things and help me to choose who needs to be there. Because I would trust that associations is a neutral body and know something better than the government in terms of siapa yang deserve a spot there. And so dan ideally kan bergulir kan. So Syafiq
dan kita
will
pun
let
open
us know.
call juga kan. Betul. So everyone can submit sebenarnya gitu.
Dan jadi ada activations juga, right? So that's Syafiq. So I open doors so that opportunities can come. Even yang di hotel juga sama kan. Syafiq also helps to select. Jadi kalau misalnya your game is not selected, blame it on him. Wow. No, I'm just joking. But he's pretty fair. We also audit and look at it as well. Second of all, kayak when there are certain things kan. Kayak kemarin kita ada opportunity pendanaan kan, dari Bank Himbara lah, dari koperasi dan kawan-kawan. We also invite associations including Agi to come and understand ini opportunities yang ada. Even yang BPJS tenaga kerja sama yang rumah subsidi, we also distribute it through associations.
Cuma memang kita belum ketemu titik tengahnya aja kalau untuk pendanaan ya gitu. Jadi semoga sih dalam waktu dekat teman-teman semuanya bisa mendapatkan titik cerah, so we can buat semua teman-teman itu tidak hanya mengharapkan dari grants aja, tidak hanya mengharapkan dari publisher aja, investor aja, but there's always a way gitu untuk mendapatkan pendanaan di sini gitu loh. Jadi memang ya, it's not an easy job. Tugas saya tidak hanya selebrasi saja dan seremonial aja, kayak karena yang kerja sampai malamnya kita nggak dokumentasikan ya.
Ya, nggak kita dokumentasikan karena itu tidak layak dikomunikasikan dari segi visual.
Karena banyak banget yang ngomongnya tuh kayak ya Agi tuh udah ya banyaknya tuh cuma yang event-eventnya aja, datang sana kesini dan segala macamnya. But karena kita tidak mempublikasikan, karena banyak juga kan hal-hal yang memang sifatnya juga masih confidential juga saat kita kerjain gitu. Jadi memang kita akan announce itu kalau udah jadi gitu loh, udah bagus dan segala macamnya.
Dan setting foundation itu nggak mudah.
Iya.
and I would rather take some time untuk benar-benar bangun sesuatu yang kokoh.
True. And it's not even a year kita ada di sini kan.
Let me check.
Wow, dihitungin loh harinya.
254 days.
Wow, kayaknya harusnya gue bikin kayak gitu ya buat jadi presiden lagi berapa hari gitu.
Karena every day counts and every day is important kan.
Ya.
Jadi yang BPJS itu sebenarnya it's good also karena kan teman-teman itu berlalu berpikir kalau misalnya nggak ada slip gaji ya susah gitu loh, nggak dapat
teman-teman freelancer ya
perlindungan
khususnya ya gitu, pekerja lepas gitu. Kalau yang udah kerja full time mestinya aman.
Iya benar.
Kalau kalian nggak dapat minta ke kantor kalian.
Betul, kalau nggak minta ke Agi karena itu less than 2 minta informasi.
Oh oke.
Soalnya itu
Kalau
dengan,
minta BPJS ke Agi repot ya.
Itu cuma 38.000, less than 38,000 kan per month. Itu you get coverage if something happen to you during work, at least you're covered. If you amit-amit pass on, right? Your family will receive 40 meals kan, plus 174 for two kids.
Oke.
Jadi bisa untuk kuliah ya, untuk sekolah kuliah gitu loh. Jadi you can work in peace lah ya. Kalau nggak kita semua kita kerja buat apa sih, pasti keluarga kan. Kita pasti akan mikirin toh. Dengan BPJS tenaga kerja ini yang harapannya bisa membantu untuk mengcover beberapa hal tersebut. Rumah subsidi contohnya itu DP cuma 1 jutaan, cicilan 1 jutaan. Dikasih rumah, kamu harus di sini. Kagak, udah canggih kita, ada Tapera Mobile, tinggal milih sendiri gitu loh. Mungkin kalau misalnya nggak sesuai, nanti tunggu seminggu lagi ada di update terus.
Ada lagi katalog baru terus. Gitu ya.
Tuh.
Rin, Mbak Irene.
Authenticity kan.
Pertanyaan. Apa sih sekarang kayak saat Mbak Irene ngelihat industri game sekarang dari sudut mata, dulu kan ngelihatnya dari sudut mata dari sudut pandang investor or banker or orang yang lebih ke bisnis. Sekarang dari kacamata pemerintah, apa yang diharapkan sih sekarang dari industri game?
Ayo lari yuk bareng cepet gitu loh, dan be open yuk gitu loh. Kalau ada apa, let's lay all cards on the table. Jadi pada larinya ke social media atau di grup-grup kecil untuk yang bilang ini kurang oke atau kurang oke kan. I understand as a country we are not perfect gitu toh. I'm not perfect as a human, and I need help. Solutionsnya apa? Kalau solutionsnya make sense, come and propose. Dan jangan come and propose solutionsnya adalah bikin satu acara, unless acaranya itu ada dampak yang berkelanjutan. Right, don't become an event organizer. Toh. So we need help in terms of fundamentally, gimana ya? How do we set this game industry for the nations? Ya, I'm willing to bulldoze through doors. I'm willing to go and walk with you guys lah ya, to make things happen. Can I promise? It's not. I don't have political party. I'm not gonna do a campaign. But what I can say is that. Yeah, we fight for this in the private sector side for more than 10 years. Now in the government side, let's do this. At least you have another ally inside.
And let's work together lah ya, hand in hand. Karena kemajuan industri ini tuh nggak cuma jadi tanggung jawabnya asosiasi, tidak cuma tanggung jawabnya pemerintah, tapi kita semua yang ada di dalam ekosistem ini tuh juga memang harus bertanggung jawab terhadap industri ini gitu loh. Kayak it's not always about us, it's sometimes about you gitu. Kalau kita bisa kerja bareng semuanya, itu pasti akan lebih cepat gitu. Karena pekerjaan yang dikerjakan sama satu orang itu pasti bisa selesai. Cuma akan lebih lama dibandingkan dikerjakan dengan 10 atau 20 orang.
Dan lebih seru kan?
Lebih relatif. Tapi balik lagi juga itu nyambung ke industri kreatifnya sendiri gitu loh. Ada sekitar 17 subsektor di Aircraft kan. Jadi memang untuk membangun industri kreatif sendiri itu nggak bisa nih semuanya jalan sendiri-sendiri. Jadi kolaborasi itu is the key gak sih? Gitu. Dan semua industri kreatif itu sebenarnya saling berhubungan. Gitu, kayak game, animasi, film, musik. Di dalam game ada animasinya,
even kuliner
ada musiknya, ya kan. Terus kemudian ada kita bisa dari IP ini kemudian kemana, ke kuliner, which is I applied, ke apalagi ke desain, ke fashion,
cosplay,
bisa cosplay atau memang bisa membuat produk fashion dari yang karakter di dalam gamenya juga, atau mungkin dari baju yang udah ada di real life itu kemudian dijadikan di dalam game juga gitu. Jadi merchandising semua segala macam
Makanya
gitu.
kata Pak Prabowo benar banget, nggak boleh lagi ada yang namanya ego sektoral, apalagi ego kementerian, apalagi ego pribadi. Udah
Betul.
buang itu jauh-jauh. Kita mendingan fokus ke how do we develop this, because I only have 2 KPIs kan. Satu adalah value added, kedua adalah job creations. Job creations also include how many entrepreneurs are created.
Yeah.
Actually the third one is investments.
Termasuk di dalam 8 Ashta Aircraft ya.
Ah yes. Oh wow, you're doing a very good job. You remember. Kalau yang bingung Aircraft apa, asosiasi udah bisa jadi perpanjangan tangan. Inilah salah satu hubungan kita antara asosiasi dan government.
Betul. Okay, before we end, I wanna ask you like rapid fire questions.
Oke.
It's just only 10 questions sih.
Oh, 10 questions, alright.
Kan cepat. Mobile or console?
Mobile.
Okay.
Ini questionnya ini nggak rapid nih.
Question ya. First game you ever played?
Mario Bros.
Okay. Game that made you cry.
Oh my god, Mario Bros.
Game you secretly sucks at but love anyway.
Game that
You secretly suck at but love anyway.
Mobile Legends.
Okay. Most overrated game.
Do I really have to answer this one? Most overrated games. Oh my god, please don't kill me. Final Fantasy.
Okay. Local games developer that you admire.
Wah, ini nggak bisa ini.
We can skip that.
Ya, karena
Genre you never touch as a dev.
genre.
Horror. Dream IP to work on.
Dream IP to work on. Local ya.
Any franchise.
Local lah, pete hijau.
What?
Pete hijau.
Okay.
That I want to work on lah right now. Kan?
Okay.
Tapi kalau dream, I think wayang.
Wow. Okay. If you could live in one game world, what will it be?
Oh my god, this is a trap question. If it's international, Pikachu. If it's local, I want to try to live in. I'm sorry, Coffee Talk.
Okay. Last game you played.
Let me check. The last game I played this morning was 2 games actually: Girl Rescue and Screw Away.
Okay. If you're not being a politician right now, where are you at right now?
I will be most likely ini bulan
Julie.
Juli. I will most likely be in London.
Oh.
Summer.
You're supposed to be mad there.
Yes, indeed.
All right, Irene, thank you so much for your time. Makasih banget udah datang sini, and akhirnya teman-teman bisa lebih kenal lebih dalam lagi dengan
manusia juga
Irene
kan.
Umar. Itu semoga sih sebenarnya bisa kita lebih bisa banyak kolaborasi lagi, lebih, dan I do really hope sebenarnya dengan keberadaannya seorang Irene Umar dalam industri ini, dan dengan
tambah berat ya,
with your personality kayak gini, jadi jangan takut untuk reach out ke government. Sebenarnya kan banyak orang yang takut reach out ke government itu karena kayak aduh takut lah gitu,
nggak digigit kok
dan segala macam gitu. Tapi kayak I hope with your personality yang kayak you are very open person gitu. Kan kalau if you want to talk sama Mbak Irene ini kayak like he's very easy gitu, suka balesin DM juga dari orang-orang gitu.
Which is true. Cuman I'm a straight shooter.
Yeah.
Jadi I'm very straightforward.
Dan dirimu kan yang reply, not an admin kan.
Yeah.
Jadi kayak if there's any questions, you can just simply tanya. Tapi yang berbobot juga
We have
gitu.
A story time. Jadi in my, which I'm supposed to do a recording today. So guys who have put your questions, I'll be responding today or tomorrow. Pokoknya this week lah. Jadi in the IG, let me see ya. Itu ada satu post yang mengenai story time. Jadi it's a story time with me lah ya.
Jurnal Irene itu.
Bukan ya.
Kind of.
Jadi story time ini kan. Karena kenapa? Setiap kali kalau ada acara itu banyak banget yang mau bertanya, and I feel bad because I have to go for another event, right?
Yeah.
So I always tell people that go there, drop your questions, I'll answer it. In Web3 world, it's called as AMA, Ask Me Anything.
Ask me anything.
So it's the same, I'll answer to those. Cuma sabar dikit ya.
Oke, jadi ya balik lagi ya, jangan ragu. Government itu juga
hidup tanpa
sama,
keraguan dong.
Dan government itu, kehadiran government itu sebenarnya untuk membantu industri, membantu kita semua itu menjadi level up lah ya, sesuai dengan kabinet Agi yang sekarang level up gitu. Jadi do not be afraid, dan kita semua mengerjakan kok. Kita actually will listen to you gitu. Cuma memang semuanya tidak bisa dikerjakan dalam satu waktu yang bersamaan. So please be patient, sabar-sabar. Semoga tahun ini banyak program lagi yang bisa kita achieve. Tahun depan pastinya akan lebih banyak lagi because we already on board banget gitu kan.
Kabinetnya sudah terbentuk, sebelumnya kerja sendiri, FYI.
Betul. Jadi hopefully akan banyak great things yang akan kita lakukan lagi ke depannya. So thank you, and I hope that you stay di dalam kabinet ini. Nggak tiba-tiba kayak diganti ya gitu.
Ini everything happens for a reason lah. As long as I'm here, we will do whatever that it takes.
True. Thank you so much. So
Bantu di pray for me supaya semuanya diberikan kemudahan.
Amin. Oke, kalau gitu thank you so much sekali lagi. Semoga kita bisa bertemu lagi di lain kesempatan. Thank you juga untuk dengerin kita. So Syafiq dan juga
Salam kreatif, Airin Umar.
Oke, bye-bye.